Hey kids, you're listening to a couple of annoyed grump-boys, and this is the 138th Simpsons podcast. That's right, we're the Simpsons podcast that discusses the animated series The Simpsons from seasons 11 and beyond, and the newest episodes when they air. Why do we do it this way? Well, plenty of other podcasts have discussed the golden age, that being seasons 1 through 10, and we're out here in podcast land to find if any other Simpsons episodes can match those classic golden age ones that you all know and love. I say we because I don't do this alone. I'm just one annoyed grunt boy named Craig. With me, as always, is...
Annoyed grunt boy, Steve. Hello, Craig.
Hello, Steve. Well, I promised I wasn't going to do this, but
oh boy,
I'm knee-deep into the baseball season. I love the smell of the grass on the field and the crack of the bat and the feel of the dirt.
I always say if there's grass on the field, you're okay to play.
But I'm not going to say, oh, how did you like that game of the Guardians versus the Dodgers? Or what do you think about Juan Soto's injury? I'm not going to ask you that, Steve, because this is a Simpsons podcast.
Right. Although I would have answers for all those.
But I don't want to hear it, Steve. I don't want to hear it.
Okay, good.
We are a Simpsons podcast, like I said in the intro. And there's a couple Simpsons baseball-related things that are in the news. Or at least the news that I get. I only get information about baseball and the Simpsons. So my Google alert is very... You know what? It makes a happier life, honestly.
Sure.
That's the only news you get.
I mean, compared to the news that I get, that does sound a lot better.
So the first one is, we like to talk about food on this podcast on occasion. And, of course, The Simpsons being something of a food TV show. One of my favorite episodes, and I think you can probably also agree that the episode Homer Loves Flanders, I believe it's called. Is that the episode?
That is the episode, yes.
And one of my favorite bits that I've always been jealous of is the nacho hat that when they go to it's a football game though, not a baseball game. Mm-hmm. And the nacho hat that Homer has, like, how many times as a child and as an adult did you want that hat?
Yes, I mean, it looked like the coolest thing ever. And yeah, there's nothing more that I wanted more than a nacho hat.
Well, Steve, I'll be happy to tell you that the Texas Rangers now have a nacho hat. Now, it's not like the one from the cartoon where it's all tortilla chip hat. It's more like a cardboard sombrero that has nacho chips all over it and the hat part being the dip. And, or is it, no, it looks like it's tortillas all around it's like a cardboard food hat. And then you have like the chips in the middle. I'm looking at the image, and then I guess the fixins are around the brim.
I'll say that it doesn't look as cool as the Simpsons one, but structurally, it's probably better.
But if you look at the picture, it looks like it is the actual whole hat, because the cardboard you have to wear the cardboard, so you still get the actual hat, sombrero, as a giant shell. Mm-hmm. If you see this picture on the social media, right?
That's true, yes.
So this is for the Texas Rangers, and I'm not a big fan of the Rangers, or Texas in general. Sports-wise. So I think we have to, sadly, go to Texas just to go to a game so we can get this hat.
Yes, I think so.
We'll go when the Mariners are in town, which I think is actually right now as we're recording this podcast. Yeah, so let's just go now.
Okay. I mean, it does look pretty cool. Yeah, it looks... I do think about, like, eating...
You're only going to do it, like, once, and then you're going to take it off and just eat it, because it looks very shareable.
Yeah, I just think about the poor parents who, like, spend... I wonder how much this is, first of all, but, like, they buy it for their kid, and, like, the kid, like, drops his baseball, looks down, and then just spills the whole fucking thing.
Like, the model that they're using in the Texas Rangers social media... He's got, like, a half smile. He's just like, why am I doing this?
Yeah, like,
I'm going to see the price here if I can find out how much you're going to have to pay. All right, Steve, what do you think it's going to cost? I have the price.
I'm going to say, $18.
Steve, when's the last time you were at a baseball game or any sporting event?
Yeah. Oh my God. I
$18 is how much you're paying for a 16 ounce of Coors Light.
That's true.
This ninth inning rally sombrero at Globe Life Field will cost you $39.99.
Whew, $40.
Yeah, it's an oversized snack. Features a 26-inch fried tortilla filled with nacho chips, cheese, jalapenos, and toppings. The fact that it's like a cardboard, prop with the chips, and you're spending $40, they really should make like a plastic sombrero. Because when you go to most baseball stadiums, they'll give you the souvenir batting helmets, like full size, full size with nachos in it, and then you get a souvenir hat. I think they really need to have the souvenir sombrero with the chips. And if you're paying $40.
Don't the Dodgers do like ice cream in a batting helmet type of thing?
Yeah, every stadium does that.
Right. And that's something you can take home and that's a memory that will live forever. But yeah, I don't want soggy cardboard for $40.
No. And if you go to in T-Mobile in Seattle this year, they have the Seattle Ferries, like little plastic ferries that has 2 sauce cup holders, and then the middle is where you put the nachos or the fish and chips or whatever they sell. Mm-hmm. I'd rather have that ferry than this cardboard hat, because that ferry is perfect for like when I go home and make chicken wings. I got 2 little cups for my dippy sauces.
Ooh, yes, I like that.
But that's not a Simpsons related product. So this, I think, is fun. So I think we just need our listeners to buy us both airline tickets to the game, and hotel accommodations.
Yes.
Preferably hotel, not Airbnb, because I'm not going to clean the host's gutters out like they always ask us to.
Of course not. And I don't want to clog any more toilets that I didn't stop up.
I find too many cameras in the toilets when I go to Airbnbs. It just has to end.
Sorry, that's all me.
Oh, okay.
I'm just a curious guy.
But speaking of baseball and Simpsons and hats, this one really got to me because I'm jealous I didn't know about this. But apparently Lids, the company that sells hats in malls, if malls exist, and I guess online, teamed up with New Era, who makes the hats, with the Simpsons to make a Simpsons hat line and some shirts of professional Major League Baseball teams and Simpsons images embroidered on the hats. And they have like some of the hats that are green have like the famous Homer going through the shrubbery image.
Also from the aforementioned Homer Loves Flanders.
Right. And other just images from the Simpsons, like I could describe some here. Like there's a shirt here with the Yankees logo, but with Lisa as the Statue of Liberty.
You got Homer with the Wonder Bat.
Classic. But my favorite hat so far, I'm looking through, is they're all sky blue with the front being the baseball team's logo, and then embroidered clouds all over it with just like the Simpsons. It looks like the Simpsons, intro cloud.
Mm-hmm. And
there are normal prices but like if you go on the lids.com website, it all says sold out. So I've looked on like second hand retailers like, eBay, and they're all selling them for like $120. I'm like, I can't justify spending $120 on a baseball cap.
Yeah.
But like, how fun is this? So as being a Cubs fan and a Mariners fan, I would probably rock more the blue Mariners logo, because then I would go to an actual game wearing that hat. But you being like a non-baseball fan, really, like what team and what hat would you choose?
I'm looking
here?
at the Cubs. The Cubs one really works for me, just with the simple C.
Yeah.
Well, with the field of blue, I really like that. Also, like, not just to keep it with Chicago, but when I was a baseball fan, I like the White Sox a lot, and I also like the Sox hat. But yeah, I think I would go with the clouds rather than any of the others. Ooh, but Seattle one, like Seattle, the Navy Seattle Mariners one too looks really good too.
They have like a black one with the white clouds for the Sox to keep with their actual color scheme. I thought you would have gone with the Minnesota Twins hat.
I'm looking at that too, and that is very nice. Yes.
I mean, you could go for Pittsburgh with the P.
Yeah.
That's always a classic one.
I also like the T-shirts with the clouds too. Like, Because it says Simpsons on one side and then it has the team on the back.
I think you should get the St. Louis one because it's your initials, except for the T.
Right, and you should get the Colorado Rockies then.
Yeah. Oh, I did when I was a kid. When I was an expansion team, I got a Colorado Rockies hat because of my name. But if you guys haven't checked it out, though, it's just a lot of fun merch. And I'm wondering because of the sold out nature, because I'm looking at these ones too. I like the Krusty Burger ones that have like the white hat and like the teal brim, and on the side is just the Krusty Burger logo, which will go perfectly with my Krusty Burger t-shirt.
Yes.
I think the Dodgers with Homer at bat. These are all, and I don't go for these like gimmicks, but since it's Simpsons and baseball.
I don't care about the Red Sox at all, but there's a green Red Sox hat with a Mo wearing like a Irish bowler on the side. That's also very attractive.
Do they have, because this Fenway Park is known for the Green Monster, do they have the Homer going through the shrubbery Red Sox one? That one, because I saw the Cubs had that hat, which makes sense. Oh, that one makes sense because Cubs have the Ivy Field.
Right.
You know what? I think that's what I just now dawned on me. Like, oh, that's the reason why the Homer one works. So I think that's the Cubs hat I need, and the Mariners one I want the blue. So, fans out there who are listening, we're asking you to get us tickets to Texas, room and board. I want to go to like a 3-game series, so you got to get us each all 3 games for whatever team Texas plays. Because we got to get the nachos. Oh, and give us a stipend too to get those nachos. So. At least $80 a piece for the nachos, but then you're also going to pay for a beer too, so another $180 for that. And then room and board. What else do we need? Oh, well, they probably need to pay for our Uber. I don't really need to rent a car as long as like they give us like an Uber gift card for like $600. That sounds fine, right?
Yeah. So plane tickets.
We're sharing the Uber, so you don't have to give us each $600 Uber gift card unless you want to.
I don't. I mean, no offense to you, but I really prefer to. I like to stretch my feet out. I really want my own Uber.
We want the Uber. Like, is it Uber Black? Is that the high end one, or?
I believe so. Yeah,
something like that. Yeah, we want that. Okay, and then room and board.
Tell you what, every listener, just give us like $5,000. Well, that should cover it.
Yeah, but like weekly.
Yeah, for the rest of the year.
And the year's almost over, so...
Right, it's only April.
You guys just filed your taxes, give us your tax returns. That's all we're asking for.
Yeah, just give us all your money.
Oh, and then also buy us the hats. Like, you know what? It's going to be hard for Steve to determine which hat he wants, so just get every single Simpsons hat.
If I can't try it on, I don't know, so...
So, one each of... Do you know your hat size, or should they buy one of each hat size?
It used to be 7 3/4, but that was a while ago since I've had a fitted hat. So maybe go from 7 3/4 on up, because I don't think my head got smaller. So go from 7 3/4 all the way up to like say size 9. Just buy me one of each, and that should do it.
I think the size 9 are custom, so you're gonna have to get custom ones, guys, and that's a little bit more spendy. But you guys can afford it. You're our listeners.
Yeah, exactly. I assume that our listeners are wealthy. They have excellent taste.
Well, all we know is that all of our male listeners have huge hammers and supermodel wives, if they're into that sort of thing.
Sure.
Or supermodel husbands.
And they're very successful, and yeah.
And we love them ever so. All right, Steve, enough of us waxing on about The Simpsons. Let's just talk about The Simpsons.
Alrighty. And let's go back, all the way back to May 16th, 2021. What was the number 1 movie in the box office?
Spiral. It's a new chapter of the Book of Saw. A detective and his partner investigate grisly murders that are eerily reminiscent of the past. So the Saw movies. Is this the Christopher Rock helmed Saw movie?
I think it might actually be. And this is also in the depths of the pandemic.
So they actually released it? Oh, yeah, there it is. The Book of Saw, Spiral with Christopher Rock. Again, I've only seen the first Saw movie. So you can say I saw it.
You see Saw.
Yeah. But here we go. Steve, I know that a lot of horror movies make you cry because they're so scary. And you only want to go see scary movies on Saturday and Sunday with your favorite good witch, Glinda.
Yes. Her relationship with the other one is so healthy.
Steve, what was the hot Billboard song of that week?
Why, it was Save Your Tears by The Weeknd and Ariana Grande.
Steve, you don't have to be so coy about liking that tune.
But, it's just, I was watching almost 24 TV shows that didn't quite get picked up for the air, and it made me think of that song. So, it wasn't quite 24, it was 3 less, but, it was a lot.
Steve, that's our hot rock alternative for the week. Shy Away by 21 Pilots.
Oh, boy. And those pilots, they just kept on going, and it seemed like they wouldn't end. It was like non-stopping forever.
Yeah, and do you remember in Star Wars, that deleted scene when your protagonist is with Obi-Wan Kenobi and they're like in the desert and he drops his lightsaber and they don't know where it's at. Mm-hmm. So they asked the Spaceballs to search the desert.
We ain't found shit.
Yeah, so that protagonist also was blanking the desert.
Yes, which brings us to our number one hot country song, Forever After All, by Luke Combs.
Me?
I recognize you. And the rest.
Yeah, I can't do this one. I know who Tate McRae is. That's it.
Yeah, so the number one hot dance and electric song is You by Regard, Troye Sivan, and Tate McRae.
All right. So here's what we're going to do, Steve. We're going to take a break and watch The Man from Grampa, in which an elderly British Secret Service, Terrance, comes to Springfield in search of the Grey Fox, a Russian spy. He suspects that Grampa is the elusive spy and enlists Homer's help to take him down.
Woo!
All right, as I promised, we'll be right back. And we're back. Today we're talking about The Man from Grampa, G.R.A.M.P.A. It's the 21st episode of the 32nd season, episode 705 in the show's run. Original air date May 16th, 2021. Your nerd code is QABF13, written by Carolyn Omine, directed by Michael Polcino, and Al Jean is your showrunner.
Alrighty, Carolyn Omine, we've talked about her plenty, but, she wrote for Full House, The Parenthood, and of course The Simpsons. She's also the first female executive producer on the show, starting in season 17. So she's written 28 episodes, and we've talked about 14 of them so far, including the first one that we ever did, Dial In for Nerder, which we talked about twice. With Little Big Mom, Treehouse of Horror 11, The Great Money Keeper, Strong Arm of the Maw, Star is Torn, The Homer of Seville, Chief of Hearts, Treehouse of Horror 22, and more recently, Working Mom, Highway to Well, The Way of the Dog, My Octopus and a Teacher, Treehouse of Horror 33, and A Mid-Childhood's Night Dream.
Don't forget, she was born in Hawaii.
Yes.
62. Do you think she hung out with, Barry? That's, of course, Barack Obama. That's what us friends call him, Barry.
Of course, yeah.
And Jason Momoa. Do you think they all, hung out?
I think Barry, Jason Momoa, my mother-in-law, Chris Pratt, and Carolyn Omine all hung out together, yeah.
Do you think they were always, sneaking on the sets of Magnum P.I. or Hawaii Five-0 and trying to get Tom Selleck's mustache comb?
Yes, and Jack Lord's comb for his hair.
Oh, if you want a fun Jack Lord accessory, look up Jack Lord Dr. No sunglasses and tell me that those glasses... I don't want to genderize things, but tell me that those aren't, for the 60s, weren't supposed to be women's sunglasses.
Yeah. I am looking at them now, yeah.
But I feel like Jack Lord is the only one who can pull that off.
Maybe Bono.
And Elton John.
Yes. Also, just looking through clips of him, he looks like he's a sightless person in those sunglasses.
Oh, right. Well, there's a funny thing with that. Then you bringing that up, the beginning of the movie starts with the song 3 Blind Mice and 3 blind men walking down the street, but spoilers, they're assassins.
Well, I mean...
Did I just spoil Dr. No for you?
And Doctor Who, too.
I hope I said Dr. No instead of Doctor Who when I asked you to look up Jack Lord.
I was wondering why he's wearing a long scarf and was in a phone booth.
I've never watched the reboot of Magnum, or not Magnum, but I've never watched that, but the Hawaii Five-0. But apparently there was, I don't know if it was controversial, but there was apparently an episode, which I don't know who stars in the Hawaii Five-0. Is that still on, or are they...
I think it's done, but it did last for like an unusually probably lasted for like 5 or 6 years.
Right. And apparently there was a scene with Jack Lord's character from Hawaii Five-0, but they did that weird uncanny valley where it's not Jack Lord because he's long dead, but they showed what he might look like if he was still alive, in a scene.
Yeah.
Like when they brought back, what's his name? Peter Cushing's for Star Wars Rogue One. And that weird, we're not quite there yet. Let's hold off on that.
Yeah, I don't want to go too far into the new Hawaii Five-0, but it lasted for 10 years. 240 episodes from 2010 to 2020.
Wow. Well, it's a procedural show, and those shows can last that long. All right. Well, hey, Steve, we're not talking about Hawaii.
But talking about Jack Lord and Dr. No feels appropriate since it's about spies.
There we go. Hey, nice segue, Steve. Let's just get on to the episode. And it begins, as it always does, in the security services of MI5, located, of course, in London, England, the year 1970. In a conference room reminiscent of Tinker, Tailor, Soldier Spy, an older agent introduces his team to a young new hotshot agent who was rather helpful during a recent mission in Prague. So the operation left only 11 dead, which one spy notes, looking up from her Soviet military maneuvers dossier, is barely double digits. So we learn about the young operative's next focus.
I am on the hunt for a turned American, now working for Russia, codenamed Grey Fox. In World War II, he served with the fabled Flying Hellfish, the only unit that served in the Pacific, European and Grauman's Chinese theatres.
Now, Grey Fox lives in a small American town containing a nuclear plant, stealing their secrets.
This is a map of all nuclear plants in America, and these are all the nuclear plants with bad security. I will go to each city, and in no time at all, I will have flushed out Mr. Grey Fox, even if it takes me a fortnight.
Wait, what's a fortnight?
Nobody knows. Goodbye, chaps. I shall find this man with English speed and efficiency.
Couple things there. That's, of course, the voice. Stephen Fry is what, when Steve goes to McDonald's, they say, may I take your order?
Stephen Fry.
Yeah. It's, we get a couple fun callbacks, so we got to see the Fighting Hellfish logo, so that's a lot of fun.
Yes.
I was kind of hoping, I know we're going to talk about a joke that they recycle a lot, but I have a recycled joke that I think would have worked in this when he's showing all the nuclear power plants in America. Mm-hmm. It would have been fun. Then he does the joke of here's all the ones that are not secured. It was every single one. And for some reason, they're all in towns called Springfield. If they just showed graphic of the dots and just says Springfield.
That would have been very funny, actually.
Yeah.
But yes, Stephen Fry will be doing most of the work for all the British people in this episode. In fact, the writers were talking about how he probably does more voice work in this episode than most guest stars do.
I mean, if you have someone like Stephen Fry,
you're
going to want to use him as much. Or if he's game for it, if you have someone that's so big over... I mean, I don't think Stephen Fry is just popular in London town, but I mean, globally, right? I think people really know who Stephen Fry is. Popular, and I think with shows like A Bit of Fry and Laurie, right? With Hugh Laurie, House himself, which I believe was one of the longest running shows in England. It lasted 18 seasons with a total of 4 episodes.
Exactly. Yes.
That joke is a joke, Joe, but I know I'm not going to get tired of making fun of.
It always works.
Blackadder.
About the accountant of color.
Okay, how about this one? Wooster and Jeeves.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you were going to make a joke like you did with the Black Adder.
No. Western Jesus is funny on its own.
How about Godsford Park?
Yes.
How about V for Vendetta?
Hilarious. Actually, I like that movie a lot.
What about V for Vendetta for Babies? What was the Simpsons joke they did? I remember it was Watchmen Babies, but there was the V for Vendetta joke.
Yeah, I remember Watchmen Babies.
Yeah. That's kind of a funny concept now. All right.
And then they mention what's the Fortnite, and of course, fans of Taylor Swift and fans of mediocre player versus player video games know it's 2 weeks, and it literally means 14 nights in Old English. It's a contraction.
Wait, do all those Fortnite events only last for 2 weeks? Did I just not get that?
I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, I think so.
Well, the Simpsons one I think was 2 fortnights.
Yes. Because they're special.
How many? I know we're not talking about Fortnite, but now we are. But how many times I see oh, now it's the Family Guy one, or how many wells can they go to? Is there going to be a Golden Girls Fortnite, or is there going to be a Full House Fortnite? I will go back to Full House Fortnite.
Make it a whole TGIF thing. Imagine Urkel hunting down the Olsen twins.
And now imagine not Fortnite, and that's just how J.L. White's career ends.
Did I do that?
The Olsen twins probably have really good bodyguards that will take Urkel down.
Yeah.
I feel I know we're not a Full House podcast, but I feel everyone from Full House probably can't get to the Olsen twins.
Yeah.
Do you think Jodie Sweeting just call up one of the Olsen twins and say, hey, how's it going?
Weirdly, I feel of the surviving cast members, Jodie and maybe Stamos are the two that could
survive. There's only one dead cast member. I guess 3 if you count the dogs.
I know, but I don't. What I'm saying is, I don't think. Obviously, Candace can't. I don't think Andrea Barber is going to, and I don't think Dave Coulier. Maybe now, but
because of his cancer stuff,
right? Yeah.
Did I already make the joke when cancer's not a joke? Do you think when he was diagnosed with cancer, do you think he asked the doctor if he could cut it out?
And they had a tongue depressor, and he's like, "Is that made of wood?"
Cancer's not a joke, but did they call Alanis Morissette's vagina to make sure she didn't have cancer?
And then John Stamos showed up and said, "Have mercy."
Cancer's not a joke. Let's just get back to the show, Steve.
All right. Well, we jump ahead 50 years to a now gray-haired Terrance answering his phone, his mobile for our British audience, sadly stating that he has yet to catch the elusive gray fox, but he's finally connected the dots. He looks through a folder containing the heavily memed paper cutout of Abe with the headline, "Old Man Yells at Cloud," and another about a cloud raining on Grampa and no one else, and then the file mentions his time with a flying hellfish, Springfield, and a nuclear power plant.
Another nice callback. The old man yells at cloud.
Mm-hmm.
Terrance is ready to show that his hard work has led him to what he's been searching for all of these years. Though if he's wrong, his entire life has been a waste. Except, of course, for the reading, including Eat, Pray, Love by author and aspiring murderer Elizabeth Gilbert.
Do you know about that?
Of course I know what you're talking about, Steve, but maybe our audience doesn't know.
Okay, so Elizabeth Gilbert is a writer, and she was beloved. She wrote Eat, Pray, Love and several other books and some memoirs, and she would be on NPR all the time. And then last year, she wrote a memoir talking about how she was plotting to kill her wife because her wife was terminally, was sick. I don't even know if she was terminally ill, but Elizabeth Gilbert basically admitted to planning to murder her in her memoir to the point where the police were involved. And she didn't do it, but she admitted to doing it.
Just like O.J. Simpson wrote that book. If he did it.
Right.
So is this more out of a euthanasia thing, more out of a mercy kill?
No, it wasn't. She was just annoyed.
Oh, you said she was sick. Yeah. She just had allergies and was just sneezing a lot. It was really annoying.
Yeah,
her.
Exactly. Could have just got a dust bunny or something, but yeah.
Was the book called Eat, Pray, and for the love of God, will you die already?
Yes. Eat, pray, die.
I guess that makes sense and it's a little cleaner. All right, and Steve, Terrance Rout, he's ready to flesh out the fox. That is not the network, but the Abe.
So, 4 days later, at the Springfield retirement castle, seniors fall asleep while watching The Third Man, which is actually in live action. Not live action because it's on tape, because it's a very old movie, but it's not animated, is what I'm saying.
It's always jarring, right, when you see, like, clips. I've done it a couple of times when you see actual clips of actual movies. Yeah.
But yeah, so they're watching that on TV and they're all falling asleep, but Jasper wakes up and walks through the halls to find that his neighbor, Luis's room, is being emptied. And the nurse explains the horrible circumstances. Her family took her back home to live with them. The senior care representative says she hates to see people in that way.
It's nice when you think it's a sad joke, but it's death. Death is never funny in a sitcom.
Right.
But, yeah. And so, it's a great joke. Anyway, so Abe shares that he'll really miss Louise, recalling her wonderful smile, and Jasper mentions that she had a great room, and all the oldies agree even more enthusiastically. So they then point out that she had a window that actually opened and a functional call button. So I'm under the assumption that the rest of the residents don't have rooms with windows.
I mean, they have a window, so they just don't open.
Sounds like a prison.
It does sound like a prison, which is why it sounds horrible to me.
I always feel like when I hear about retirement communities and like I feel like they are prisons, but they're not, right? Like most people can just like leave whenever they want to, right? If they want to go shopping or.
I think so, yeah. And I do know, mostly from sitcoms, that also those oldies be fucking, like.
Yeah. So that's why they don't want to leave.
Yeah.
No, I just always had this assumption that it was like, okay, well, you can only leave the building on supervised trips. Maybe that's for like very olds.
Yeah, it probably depends on like the facility, but yeah, I think some places are more open and you can just kind of come and go as you please.
Yeah, because I'd watched that show, Man on the Inside, with Ted Danson. The first season is about infiltrating a retirement community, but they get to do whatever they want. I don't know why I have this assumption. I think it's because of Simpsons. Simpsons have painted the retirement community as this like prison, and I think that's the joke. So like as my child mind didn't develop that, oh no, they're not. And even when like my grandmother was in a home, like she didn't go anywhere, but also she was like 97, so where is she gonna go? And thinking about it now, I don't go anywhere that much.
Yeah, like if I were in one of these places, I'd probably plan my life around the TV schedule.
I think we've talked about it too, that we are now currently at our age, we are 11 years away to being allowed to live into the 55 plus communities. And part of me, like, sure, you got to pay. It's probably a little bit more than like if you were to pay for like your own apartment.
Right.
But if you have like your own built-in restaurant and like amenities, why would you want to go anywhere else?
It's true.
And like you don't have to pay for the restaurant. I'm assuming that's inside most of those places because you're already paying your rent. Sure, the food's probably not. I don't know. Whatever. It's in your rent. Then you don't have to go grocery shopping.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah, I'm just saying, Steve. I think we got 11 years to plan our future. Now, will they allow my 10-year-old child to live with us? They better.
I'm sure. Yeah, just dress her up like a nurse. It'll be fine.
Oh, just think of the killing your wife would make in the retirement community with her products. Not the murdering part.
I misheard that. It's like, just think about killing your wife. It's like, what?
Yeah, you're a real eat, pray, love over here.
Yeah, I'm a real Elizabeth Gilbert. Jeez.
Anyways, just think about it, Steve. So, yeah, like I said, all the seniors want Luis's room, and they begin to argue who should get it. So after bickering about who she did or didn't hate, Nurse Olive informs the residents that Luis hated all of them, and then explains the fate of the now vacant room.
So she let someone else know the room was available, and they put down a huge deposit.
Look, for this I'm taking lucidity meds? Puh! Who am I?
It is an emergency! You gotta see how I got cheated out of the only good room in the place! Come on, Dad, you love your room. How would you know? You never come to visit. You don't know a single thing about me. Yes, I do. What's my greatest fear? Cocktail olives and fascism. Everyone's afraid of that! Those olives look like eyes. Look at this closet. Got a nice new light fixture. Not a naked bulb that leaves nothing to the imagination.
Hello, boys.
Ah!
Sorry to startle you.
Sorry. I'll be okay. Thanks.
How nice of you to welcome me to my new room. I'm Terrance.
That's the bad guy we saw from earlier.
And now he's old. You know, that Abe was, or they were talking about the light fixture and how it was like leaving us to the imagination, but that light bulb looked like a boob.
You mean like the 90s ceiling lamps that look like boobs?
Yeah, that's always weird.
My ceiling fan in my room has the boob lamp still.
It's just a weird design choice that everyone just decided, yep, that's a tit. Let's make it a light.
Well, I think it's because you unscrew the nipple and pull the bowl out to change the lights. But yeah, every time I see that lamp, I'm like, I'm thirsty.
Yeah, I want some milk.
I just wish I was nuzzled up in my mother's teat as a young 3-year-old child.
Yeah, just a young 7-year-old child.
So I'm afraid of olives. Is that normal?
I think so. I mean, it's the green ones that I have issue with. The black ones are fine.
Steve, don't bring race into this.
I'm sorry. But no, Abe's right. They do kind of look like eyes staring at you.
You're right. Like, black olives on a pizza, on some nachos, perfectly fine. But you throw green olives on a pizza, then you're a monster.
Yeah, I mean, I actually like all olives, but yeah, it's weird. Like, green olives, like, you put a black olive anywhere, you're like, whatever. But yeah, green olive makes you think.
Steve, are you saying all lives matter?
Yes, and all of the other reindeer matters too.
All right. That was the name of the nurse, Olive. Weird.
Whoa, you're right. So, after an awkward stare down, Terrance shares that he's pleased to finally meet Abe, and is also happy to learn that he's real, and that he does exist. Much like, Santa Claus or M&M's. Terrance forms Abe's mouth into the shape of a smile, but Grandpa was happy with the way it was wrinkled before, into a dour grimace. Grandpa tells his new neighbor to keep his distance, unless Abe should get lonely, which he probably won't.
Terrance is eager to speak with Homer, who admits the man seems interesting, but adds his dislike of old people. So as Homer walks away, Terrance adds that he's studied Homer's family, his habits, and his personal pleasures.
Oh.
Yeah, looking through the notes, Terrance offers to buy Homer up. Before he can finish, Homer says, drink? And maybe some pretzels? And the proper British agent agrees, leading Homer to believe that he knows everything. So they head to Moe's, where Terrance shares his past, along with his knowledge of Homer.
So, pal, where you from?
A little bit of everywhere, really. I was born in Bristol, caught cod off of Cardiff, fed pudding to a terrier in Yorkshire. And I know who you are. You work at the nuclear plant, are married to Marge, and have 3 children.
No, I only have two. Wait a minute, you're right. That's amazing. You're making the hair stand up on the back of my neck.
Whew, this is it. The moment when I say it all. There's a lot. I'm going to exhaust you. Anyone who's interested in hearing a life story, gather round. I'll buy you a drink for your troubles.
Oh, I'm calling my sponsor. Get over here! They're giving out free drinks!
I really like the camera work in that clip, which you didn't hear because it's camera work, but a lot of like Dutch angles and a lot of like from The Third Man, a lot of like, things are a little askew. It's a little fun.
Yeah, even when the shot going into Moe's, you have Moe sitting there or standing behind the bar, then Homer and Stephen Fry sitting at the booth, and like the way the camera like zooms in and the bar flies around. Yeah, it's just we don't talk about the directors a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That shot is framed so well.
Yeah.
Good on good old Polcino, right?
Yes. One little quibble, though, is I feel like they've used the joke of Homer not knowing how many kids he has maybe a few times too many. Where they say that, you have 3 kids. It's like, no, I don't, only have 2.
I think that's a joke that people probably like to hear. I don't know.
Like, I'm not offended, or it's not like that egregious, but I just feel like maybe they lean on it a little bit.
Do you think it was just like in the script, like we need something, a joke here maybe? And they're like, I don't know. It's 3 a.m. and they're tired and want to go home. And they just say, just do that joke.
That could be it. I understand.
Sure. I had no problem with it. But, we talked about earlier, too, they did the old man cloud thing and the hellfish. I know those aren't jokes, but nice callback. So maybe this is a callback joke.
Okay.
I think more for me right now is, this wasn't that long ago this episode aired. The whole Fortnite and in the beginning, like, what's a Fortnite? I feel like people bring Fortnite up too much just because it's one of those, like, trivia facts that if this was the 90s and someone says, hey, do you know what a Fortnite really is? They actually had to, like, go to the library and learn this.
Yeah, I feel like now.
Yeah, now, like, if you just talk to some random person, do you know what, like, a Fortnite actually means 2 weeks? And we're like, yeah, we know, dipshit.
It's pretty common knowledge at this point.
Yeah, fuckface.
Especially the British people. They invented it.
You mean the jerk stores?
Exactly. The jerk shoppies.
I also like how when Homer says, like, maybe buy me some pretzels. Like, remember, like, bars on TV, like Cheers? Pretzels were always free. Mo charges for pretzels?
Yeah.
Mo has pretzels?
I just thought he had those pickled eggs, and that was it.
Yeah. Mo is the type that would, like, if someone doesn't finish the pretzels in the bowl, he just puts it back into the bag.
Yeah. He used to have peanuts, but they got tired of gluing them back in together.
Yeah. And, like, all those Gen Zers coming in and getting a peanut allergy. Fucking pussies.
So, after 3 hours of lively conversation, several shots of sad granddad whiskey, and many bottles of Duff, refilled by Mo with brown water from the tap, the regulars are intrigued and want to know more about Terrance. He finally shares that he was a spy, just like his father, though his father was, in his opinion, a horrible, blundering spy.
Do you think that the bottle of the old man, or sad granddad whiskey, like, that's obviously Mo's, and, you see that too, like, in movies and TVs, like, oh, just leave the bottle. Like, in real life, if you said that to a bartender, they'd be like, no, leave the bottle. Do you think he just said, like, just give me the bottle and I'll buy it?
I mean, maybe, because I know that when I was, like, when I used to buy alcohol for a hotel as a job, it was kind of a time when, like, going to the club and getting bottle service was a thing where you would do that. But it's a horrible deal because, like, a bottle of Smirnoff that you'd, like, spend, like, I don't know, $25-$30 at a liquor store, you're spending $300 or $400 just to have that baller move of having okay booze at your table rather than having to get up to get a refill.
So let's think then, like, there's about, in a standard fifth, 750 milliliters, there's about 17 shots worth, American standard shots. And if you're going to say a shot of whiskey is probably $5.
I mean, yeah, because
this is probably, like, bottom shelf whiskey. I don't think this is a top shelf whiskey.
Because I assume that this is probably a simulacrum of Old Granddad,
yes.
which is actually a decent whiskey, but it is very economic as well because it's usually about $25.
So if I'm saying like $5 a shot at Moe's, or do you think it's more? Do you think it's like $8 a shot?
I think 8 is probably a reasonable price.
So then we're looking like $136 for the bottle, or but there's more. Yeah, that's probably about right.
Right.
And Mo is someone who's not going to like give you discounts, so.
Right, but I mean, they would probably charge for that probably like, again, like I say, like $350-$400 just for the like bottle fee on top.
But he is a spy. Maybe he stole it and Mo didn't notice.
Maybe, or maybe he just puts it on the MI5 bill.
Yeah, because like James Bond doesn't make probably that great of money. He's always buying like Dom Perignon 56 or Heineken beers.
Right. He loves his Heineken.
Or the Smirnoff vodka martinis, which
right.
That's not that expensive either.
I'm thinking about like Gary Oldman in Slow Horses. He drinks a lot, and he doesn't make a lot of money, and he can't even buy socks. So I assume that they're paying for his booze too.
Steve, this is a parody of a different Gary Oldman project, Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy.
Oh, right.
Slow
Sorry.
Horses. Get your Gary Oldman straight. Good thing I didn't forget the R in Gary, because then I would say don't forget your gay Oldman straight.
Nobody wants that. I mean, let those queens have their life. They've earned it.
So then we flash back to Terrance's father presenting his boss with the means in which the Russians were always able to stay one step ahead of them. Lucky guesses. So the superior spy explains that, it was actually a mole embedded in the ranks, though Terrance's dad can't believe that, since he asked everyone if they were a mole, and they all denied it. Well, Terrance's father is slapped and sent through the pneumatic tube, landing ass first onto the streets of London.
Oh. Well, back at Moe's, Terrance tells the Barflies that he joined the spy game in order to redeem his father's name. He shows a picture of his graduation, with their eyes censored, saying he was at the top of the class. Lenny states that a real-life spy like him must certainly know his way around women and disillusionment, and their guest humbly agrees.
As the shadows behind him exhibit, Terrance describes the familiar scenario. She saves your life. You fall in love. You hold her in your arms, and then some bugger shoots her dead. You then hunt the killer, track him down. Then he captures and tortures you, and then you kill the killer. We then see that it was all Moe performing some rather impressive shadow puppets.
Good job, Moe. So when Barney asks if Terrance was able to restore his father's good name, the Englishman admits that he hasn't yet, but will as soon as he apprehends the target he's been after for the past 5 decades. Lenny wonders if Terrance is paid by the project or by the hour, but Terrance responds that no amount of money would whine away his shame.
And Moe isn't sure if Terrance should be so candid, but he feels that no one remembers a thing you say after you reach a certain age, adding that he spent 50 years serving Queen and country. He mentions that the Queen really hangs in there, unaware that she'd die 60 months after this episode airs, so thank God.
That's right.
So Terrance is sad that his efforts have yet to be successful. He then tries to change the subject.
But I have nothing to show for it until now. But, I shan't get into that just yet.
Whatever happened to your father?
He was banished to Tipperary, making his way back to my mother, who had left him. Do you by any chance know it's a long way to Tipperary?
Up to mighty London came an Irishman one day. It's a long way to Tipperary.
Damn it! Everybody sings it that way. It was written to be sung faster. It's a pop song.
It's a long way to go. It's a long way to Tipperary, to the sweetest girl I know.
Oh, Daddy, I'm so sorry.
Oh, he's miserable. He fits right in.
Homer, you were supposed to be home 3 hours ago.
That is some impressive singing, especially by Dan, distinctly doing Barney's voice and Homer's voice.
All right, we'll be nice and say good job, Dan.
Yes, you did good for once. So, seeing Marge enter the bar, Terrance begins to stand up. When Marge tells him that it's not necessary, the Brit says that once he started getting up, it's best to continue. He then kisses her hand, and Marge is smitten, telling Homer that Terrance is the nicest man he's ever gotten sloppy drunk with. Terrance asks Homer when he last told Marge he loved her, and he struggles to answer, but Marge knows the answer, saying that it was when she discovered a way to stuff a pork chop with another pork chop.
I guess I know what dinner is tonight.
Yes, the poor duck chop hen.
No, it's just, I'm going to get sloppy drunk with you and eat pretzels.
Sounds good.
Homer and Marge head out. Homer thanking Terrance for the free booze and hoping that they'll see each other again. So Terrance is sure they will, and then buys another round for the rest of the drunks as they sing yet another round of It's a Long Way to Tipperary. Barney dances on the billiards table as he sings, kicking a pool ball into the jukebox, once again resulting in a $5,000 in damage. And Moe takes out his jukebox repair kit, but another ball hits it and shatters it, frustrating the barkeep even more. Now, like, all that damage is probably all the money he made off of bottle service from...
That's true, yeah. I just think he should buy a new jukebox, because repairing that one doesn't seem to be economically feasible.
Yeah, you got to update, Mo. You got to get that little box that's on the wall of a bar. Then you just use your mobile device to put credits in. Do they still have those at bars? It's been a long time.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like I remember when that was fancy technology, and it's like, oh, that's cool, but probably awful. But then, so was everything else. So I don't know.
Like by fantasy, I've talked about it before on this podcast, is converting the basement into like a British pub.
Sure.
Or just not like a cool pub, with that kind of British pub feel. But do you think I should eventually, again, I have $0, by the way, so I can never afford anything. Would I get a real jukebox that plays 45s?
I mean, if you could, that would be pretty awesome.
And like tracking down 45s isn't that difficult.
No, I think you could probably do it. And they're probably pretty affordable. I don't think the hipster vinyl market is really buying like 45s of like Tom Jones songs or something.
I was gonna say like My Girl or
yeah,
Lion Sleeps Tonight type of thing. Yeah.
But maybe you could buy like the CD one too. That would also feel retro and old to most people these days.
That's true. But then I have to buy like CD singles. Mm-hmm. That's probably a little harder to find than I think 45s.
Yeah, and then you end up with like Rum Shaker by Rex and Effects or like Mambo Number 5.
I'll just buy an iPod.
There you go.
Go to shuffle.
Also antiquated technology at this point.
That's true.
So that night, Homer's snore-filled slumber is cut short by a phone call at 2 a.m. in the morning. Marge reaches for the receiver, but Homer says, don't answer it, suggesting that they have sex instead. Marge isn't interested in snuggling while the phone is ringing off the hook, so she picks up the phone, and it's Terrance who tells Homer that if he wants to know the awful truth about his father, they need to meet immediately. So Homer agrees, and Marge falls back asleep, putting on a sleeping mask that says, ask me again at 8 a.m.
For the sex?
Yes.
Sounds good to me. Is that for anyone or just for Homer?
I'm going to assume Homer. I don't think if like Ned, well, maybe if Ned comes bursting in there. But that's it.
So in his room at the Springfield retirement castle, Terrance shows Homer his bulletin board with several photos of Abe and other members of the Simpsons family. And Terrance has spent half of his life tracking the Russian agent known as Gray Fox. And he believes that this has all led him to the retirement center and to Abe. So hearing this, Homer is skeptical.
What? My dad is not a spy.
So you say. Ask yourself a few questions. What did your father do for a living?
I don't know.
Yet he always had money.
More than I expect.
Does he hate this country?
Well, he doesn't like any of our political parties. He says Grand Canyon sarcastically. He thinks the Star-Spangled Banner is impossible to sing. He calls Uncle Sam Uncle Scam, and he doesn't like people who are different. So I'd say he's as American as Apple Watches.
Well, I'm about to show you otherwise.
Aside from disliking other people who aren't like you, me and Grandpa have a lot in common. I call him Uncle Scam. I can't sing the national anthem. The rest.
You think the Grand Canyon's not that grand?
I don't know. No, we talked about it a couple weeks ago. It's just a hole in the ground. Homer's right. They should just put trash in there.
You mean our entire catalog of podcasts?
Exactly. We can fit 373 episodes in here.
Yeah. Yeah, we forgot to mention to our listeners, all the episodes are kept on those old like IBM computers from the 60s that are the size of rooms. So we got a lot. We got a lot of space to clear out.
Yeah, that's why we started the Patreon, to pay for like storage for those giant machines. So, as the theme to the third man plays, Terrance shows photos of Abe enjoying Russian dressing, buying a sack of red onions, and drinking a Moscow Mule.
I like how the Moscow Mule is the cup, but it says Moscow Mule on it, so we know.
So you know. Homer begins to sweat as he looks through the damning evidence, such as Abe's dishonorable discharge from the Army, the Navy, and Amazon Prime. So Terrance then interrogates Homer, asking how he's able to obtain and retain his job at the power plant, even after screwing up time and time again.
When was the last time you had Russian dressing?
I don't know. I mean, maybe if I got a Reuben somewhere. Mm-hmm. But other than that, yeah, I'm never like, ooh, Russian dressing.
It was like my favorite as a child, but like having it as an adult, I'm like, this is way too sweet. I can't have this.
Yeah, I feel like it is made for children and
100%.
And Russians, I assume.
I mean, isn't Russia the child of the world?
Whoa, that's deep. I know that they came for Simpsons talk, but here you're giving them deep socio-economical international theory, and so good on you, Craig.
All right. All of this madness begins to worry Homer. What if Grandpa isn't the man Homer believes him to be? What if his name isn't even Grandpa? Understanding that Homer needs real proof, Terrance invites him to meet up at the Springfield harbor 10 minutes to 2, and then agrees to the rendezvous at the harbor, showing up 5 minutes late.
Okay, I'm in, but I have one question.
Anything.
Your voice, it's so great. Can you do Churchill?
Never was so much owned by so many to so few.
Amazing! I feel like I'm at a movie I would fall asleep in. He's not here. Of course he's not. He's just another crazy coot from the old folks' home.
Don't get between me and the pigeons, dearie.
Get away from me, lady.
Homer, you fool. It's me.
What? Prove it. Oh my God, that's amazing! An Englishman dressing in drag!
Yep. Never mind now. Hide behind that newspaper and sit down. Grey Fox is here. Each Wednesday at precisely 2, Grey Fox comes to this boardwalk. He finds an excuse to sit on the very first bench he sees.
I think a little punch up when Homer says, now do Churchill, and then when he does the Churchill impersonation, Homer should have said, that's amazing. Who's Churchill?
That is good, yes. Feels like a very Homer joke. I like that a lot.
And then he was shooting the ducks behind, that's what the sounds of shots were, behind the carnival games, the shoot the ducks thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And some of the other booths at the harbor include Shoot 'em Good.
Never win.
Win something you don't want to carry home.
Discount taffy.
Emergency dentist.
And chocolate cover mystery. All right, Steve, which one are you spending your tickets on?
I want to go to the chocolate covered mystery.
100%. Same here. All right.
Okay. So groundskeeper Willie walks by, wondering why Homer's female companion is talking like a bloody Englishman. So thinking quickly, Terrance tells Willie that he isn't English, but he is Scottish. And if Willie doesn't agree, the old lady will rouge his fat behind. So Willie is convinced, saying that Terrance sounds just like his mother. Terrance goes on to tell Willie to mind his business, calling him a red-haired baboon. Words that hit the groundskeeper like a letter from his homeland.
So Homer is instructed to watch as a second man joins Abe on the bench and sets down his cane. Terrance then tells Homer to watch the cane Abe picks up. And much to Homer's dismay, Abe switches between the two canes before opting for the other guy's, leaving his own walking stick behind. Terrance describes the moves as a dead drop, adding that the Gray Fox is receiving instructions from his handlers that are hidden inside the cane.
Homer sarcastically responds that Abe grabbing the wrong cane is clear proof of him being a spy, but Terrance believes that Grandpa is about to get paid for his espionage. Homer believes in his heart that his father would never spy for money, saying he would only do it because he hated his country. But through a pair of binoculars, Homer sees it for himself. 2 Russian-looking men walking by Abe, nonchalantly placing an envelope in his jacket pocket.
Homer is disgusted, saying that witnessing Abe's supposed national betrayal is the worst thing he's ever seen. He then scans the beach with binoculars, finding Patty and Selma removing their bra tops as they sunbathe. And Homer amends himself, saying the thing with Abe is the 3rd worst thing he's seen. As they hop on the Ferris wheel, Terrance tries to offer Homer some comfort.
I can't believe it. Got my secret envelope. Will I say what's in it? Nope. No.
There. The reveal takes time to get used to.
I should have known. He was a lousy dad. He never took me on a Ferris wheel.
I'd have been proud to have a boy like you.
I've only known you a few days, but I believe everything you say.
Let me buy you a cotton candy.
Pink one, Daddy.
You can't bring that cup of wine with you on the Ferris wheel, sir.
It shall be gone before you finish tightening the safety arm. Look at all those blurry little dots down there.
Sir, you haven't gotten on the ride yet.
Balance me with a cannonball and start her up.
Okay.
So my father's a spy. What happens now?
There are two ways this can go.
That, of course, was the great voice actor Maurice LaMarche as Orson Welles, which he, of course, did several times on The Simpsons and The Critic, and it's basically also his brain voice.
Brain from Peeking the Brain, not like...
Yeah, not what he hears in his head. We don't know that. One little quibble, though, is Terrance referred to... He asked Homer... He said he'd buy Homer some cotton candy, and aside from that being one of the worst candies, or one of the worst sweet treats ever, I hate cotton candy. They don't call it cotton candy over on the other side of the pond. In England, they call it candy floss.
So do they also call thong underwear butt floss? Or
I believe so, yes.
Or fanny floss.
That's something completely different. Arse floss.
It sounds like a pretentious German movie for some reason.
It really does, yes.
Der Artfloss. All right.
So at the Joseph Cotton candy stand, which is very funny because he was in Third Man, Terrance lays out two possible scenarios. The better one, which Abe trusts Homer, making him the one person that can turn his father in safely, allowing Terrance to deliver him to justice. And in that case, Terrance vows to treat him as well as he is currently treated at the retirement home, though Homer would prefer slightly better treatment.
Standing in front of the kissing booth that has been closed for 5 different reasons, Terrance agrees to the deal without telling Homer the second possible scenario. Homer then imagines a blue cloud of cotton candy turning into Marge, reminding him to brush his teeth. Homer agrees, but since it wasn't specified what he had to brush with, Homer opts for the candy apple.
It's a weird, little scene. Just kind of out of nowhere. So that night, Homer rushes into Abe's room at the Springfield retirement castle, saying that they need to go, and go quickly. Homer tells his father that there's no need to lie anymore, and that he knows who Abe really is. Grandpa's relieved, and then asks who he is. Homer explains that he had to turn Abe in, but he's sure he'll be okay. Grampa assumes this is just one of Homer's tricks to get him to the butt doctor.
So as Terrance is about to arrive to confiscate Abe, Homer has a change of heart. He plans on taking his father somewhere far away, where Grampa can never be found. And Homer needs to get out of there fast, but Abe is a little bit more lackadaisical.
But we've got to leave now. Say your goodbyes, quick. Goodbye is a contraction of the farewell phrase, God be with you, while farewell is a contraction of fare thee well.
Shut up and let's go.
Sorry, gentlemen. I'm afraid there's been a change in plans. Get in the car.
I call shotgun. Go!
Thank heaven I lost all feeling years ago, so this won't be difficult.
Do you even have a license?
Just a license to kill.
Ah! You idiot! Someone tells you I'm a spy and you immediately believe it?
No, I believed it because I saw you do spy stuff.
What spy stuff?
You switched canes in the park.
I'm always taking someone else's something. I have 2 Jellos every lunch and I'm not even supposed to eat Jello.
Well, what about the envelope from the Russians?
Those were Canadian blood pressure meds.
Those Canadian blood pressure meds have maple syrup, Steve.
Ah, yes. Yum, yum. It's from trees, and it's affordable.
Is that what makes Canadians happy, is maple syrup?
Yes, that, hockey, not living in a post-capitalistic hellscape like we live in. There's plenty of reasons. Tim Hortons.
A&W.
Yeah, their A&W is better than ours.
Except the name of their burgers is kind of weird. Like, Teen Burger? I don't know.
Do you wish it was pre-teen burger? That would make you happier?
I want old man thick dick burger.
That's what Arby's is for.
Oh, sorry.
So yeah, as they're both tied up in the trunk of the car, Abe holds up his Canadian maple syrup blood pressure meds. He tells Homer that he got high blood pressure while trying to pay for his American pills. Even though he always thinks the worst of his father, Abe can't believe that he would think he was a spy. But even if Homer thought that he was a traitor, Homer decided to save him. Very sweet.
Homer asks Abe to kiss him. What?
Consent is key.
Homer and Abe then kiss. Abe's tongue deep in Homer's mouth. Homer's hand grabbing the taint of Abe. No, Steve, that's not what happened. They're just sharing how much they love each other. And in the front seat, Terrance is disgusted by their familial affection and tries to drown it out with the help of a Glenn Miller orchestra. So he keeps turning the volume up on the car stereo until it breaks the knob.
Yeah, the son kissing their father on the lips. Like, it's a weird thing. Like, there's a new season of Jury Duty, Company Retreat, and there's a father and son on there, and they kiss on the lips, and it's a little disturbing.
It's very funny, though.
It is. It's very funny, but it's just a weird thing, so it made me think of that. Meanwhile, Marge, Bart, and Lisa try to track down Homer at the retirement castle, so they ask Nurse Olive, not the scary one, at the desk, but she replies that he and Terrance aren't there, and she doesn't even bother to look up from the pages of Old Men's Health magazine. So Bart asks about Grandpa, and Olive once again nonchalantly replies that he's not there. So, growing frustrated, Marge raises her voice.
If you're a woman and you've got a voice, you've got a personality.
Do you see anything that goes on here?
Your father and grandfather left with Terrance. Your father-in-law was mouthing the words, "Help me," but I'm trained to ignore that.
Excuse me, are you friends with Terrance? I'm his daughter, Hazel.
Your father took my husband and his father away. Homer left me this phone message last night.
Marge, I'm locked in a trunk, and not in a good way. I gotta...
What's going on? Have you heard anything from your dad?
He never remembers to call, especially when he's killing people.
Killing people?
But that's when he was a spy. Now he's retired and a bit delusional, bless his mouldy melon. Good thing he couldn't get hold of a gun. In England.
Gun delivery for crazy Terrance. Didn't give a last name. Just said he was working for a foreign government.
What about the waiting period?
Oh, I waited for him to hand me cash. Period.
It's fun to see Herman again. I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, the voice is a little mature.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the last time we saw him, wasn't he, like, arrested?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
The 22 short films about Springfield, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, because he was doing some fun G.R.A.M.P.A stuff.
Yeah, they don't really use Herman a lot. You're right.
I'm sure he got arrested on January 6th, too.
Where? Not the Capitol, right?
I mean, maybe Capital City.
Okay. You stormed the wrong building. I got it.
Right.
So yeah, from the trunk, Abe can tell that they are slowing down on the gravel road, which is probably not a promising sign. So as the ominous footsteps grow closer and closer, Homer forgives his father for everything, and Abe does the same for his own son. Homer then vows to do a half-assed job of digging his own grave, if, though, he is asked.
So they then hear the voice of Chief Wiggum, who is complaining that he's on a wild goose chase since there appears to be nobody in the car. Marge's voice then tells him that to open the trunk, and there they find Homer and Abe. So Clancy takes credit for solving a case, but Terrance's daughter, Hazel, explains that she found her father with her cell phone.
We should also remind people that Hazel is also voiced by Stephen Fry, if they couldn't figure it out. Though another cop arrives on the scene, telling the Yanks that he'll put out the bulletin. So after he curses his mediocre American accent, the cop is revealed to be Terrance.
Huh.
When he tries to deny it, his trousers fall down. I think they say trousers in London, not pants.
Sure, yeah.
His trousers fall down, exposing his Union Jack boxers. So after being berated by his daughter, Terrance hopes that Wiggum and his team never fail on a job. But Clancy says that that'll never happen. He then searches for his handcuffs, which Terrance politely hands him.
So Terrance bemoans being a failure, and Abe takes pity on him, saying that there's nothing to show after 50 years of work. Abe asks himself who does, aside from, Tom Jones, who really seems to love not being dead. Abe thinks he might be able to help by claiming to be the gray box, or, whatever.
You know what? You've got your man. I did spy for the Ruskies. I am the Gray Fox.
Really?
Yep, I always knew you'd be the one to get me.
How good show me! I have to admit, I did doubt myself a couple of times.
Well, now you can retire a happy man. Watch Fox News and feel your brain turn to angry mush. Congratulations.
Marge, may I give you a hug?
Of course.
No! It's happened again!
No, she's fine. I was just shooting off the top of a soda can. Yeah.
Homer, why don't you ride back with Terrance?
Okay.
No, up front.
Up front, like a grown-up!
It's a long way to Tipperary. Faster, come on! It's a long way to go. Tiddly-pum.
Is this going to be the closest we get to a Simpsons episode where Marge is shot to death?
I think so, yes. Unless they get real creative in season 38.
Well, it was a nice little callback to earlier when he was explaining his life.
Yes.
But Wiggum's pretty funny in this, just not checking the trunk and then shooting the cap off. But, like, it's probably pretty hot and, like, probably hurty to drink the can that way.
Yeah, it's probably pretty pointy and...
ACAB.
Yeah, because he did arrest Grandpa.
It was kind of a funny scene where, like, they just taking the handcuffs off of Terrance and then putting him on Abe.
Just gotta arrest somebody.
I feel like you still need, like, a trial, right, for both?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, Steve, the credits begin to roll, but then we cut to Lisa pressing her ear to a glass that is against the door, eavesdropping into Maggie's room. She hears a male voice speaking Russian. She and Homer burst into the room, demanding to know what's going on. It's actually one of those See and Say toys that was made in Russia, and Homer then realizes why it was only $3 on Amazon. And that's the episode.
All right.
I could say I can relate to because I remember buying like a cell phone toy for my child.
Mm-hmm.
It's clearly, like from China. The sounds are weird.
Oh, yeah.
Like when they try to speak English good, like it's not.
Oh, yeah.
It's not good, no good.
And like when you bought her a Malibu Stacy doll, she pulled a string and she said that her spidey senses were tingling.
No, I just got her a Spider-Man doll. I'm not going to get her a Malibu Stacy doll.
That's right. The Spider-Man's cooler than Malibu Stacy.
Except Malibu Stacy has more outfits. He's only got the one.
It's true.
Unless you count the black suit.
That's full of, the symbiote. Make him crazy.
And we don't want to make my child crazy because she's crazy enough as she is. All right, Steve, let's go take a break, think about what we watched, and we'll be right back. All right, we're back. Let's finish up this week's episode, The Man from Grandpa. We'll talk about the scenes we liked, find a most valuable jokester, give it a review, find out what we're watching next week. But before all that, we like to scour through the episode and find trinkets, tailors, and spies to make gifts from this episode. Steve, I did that very thing that we do every week for the past, I'm going to say 5 years now.
Or
We've
7.
been doing this bit.
I feel like, yeah.
No, this bit.
Yeah, it's probably been 5 or 6 years. Sounds about right.
It used to be the tattoos, and now we got so inked up, we have no more room on our bodies.
We're ready for the freak show. We have so many tattoos.
Every time we go to the tattoo parlor, like, why would you put obscure Simpsons references tattooed on your body?
I'm sure we're not the only ones who do that. Yeah.
But, Steve, I did get you gifts instead of tattoos. I mean, I could get these all tattooed on you if you want me to. But let's start off with some Union Jack boxer shorts.
Ooh, nice.
Do you want, you know what? You can choose. I'll get you a boxer shorts. I'll get you a thong. I'll get you briefs. I'll get you, I'm sorry, not a thong, but a fanny flapper. What do they call a thong in London?
Right.
Boxer briefs, the short and long. I'll leave decide. Okay, so there's your Union Jack. You got 7 pairs. You can wear one a week.
Nice.
And this is America, so I got you a big old duffel bag of guns I stole from Herman.
Nice.
You get a subscription to Old Man's Health magazine because you are getting up there, like us all. And because you're depressed of aging, Although I feel like you're not someone who gets depressed by aging.
Yeah, it's fine.
Well, how about some sad granddad non-alcoholic whiskey, because you don't drink alcohol anymore.
All right. Thank you, Craig. That's very nice. I appreciate that. I got you some things as well. You were also getting up there in age, so I got you some maple serum blood pressure meds. So you can take care of your heart the Canadian way. And I also got you some Russian dressing, a sack of red onions, and a Moscow Mule.
Yum, yum.
And then, of course, because, you got your bar, I got you an old-fashioned jukebox with a jukebox kit. Just don't throw any pool balls at it.
I don't think I will be getting a pool table. I don't have the real estate for that. So you're good.
Okay, good. Maybe just a pinball machine or something.
Definitely. Pinballs, darts, and a stripper pole. Yes. Steve, any scenes particular you love, jokes, MVJ, and all around, what did you think of this episode?
I think we got to give the MVJ to Stephen Fry just for doing all that work. I think his variety of voices is great. Even like when he's at Moe's with the barflies, and he's doing different British accents within his storytelling. I thought that was really good. Honorable mention MVJ to Tress for her voice as Olive. Always fun to hear her. But in that scene with at Moe's, I really like Moe as the shadow puppet guy. I thought that was really good. And also the camera work just throughout the episode. And the direction, I think, was really good. And the references to The Third Man and Tinker Tailor, Soldier Spy, and other spy movies. But that kind of leads me to maybe my minor issue with this movie, or with this episode, is that much like when you watch The Yellow Lotus and kind of didn't appreciate it to its full value because you hadn't seen the show yet, I've seen The Third Man a long time ago. I haven't seen a lot of this more modern spy movies, and I've seen some James Bond, but not a lot. And so I think that this episode wasn't quite for me, but I think it was well done for what it was. I could have used a few more laughs, but I think the performances were good, and I think it was fun. It being kind of a spiritual sequel to The Flying Hellfish, but in that one, Bart didn't believe that Abe was a brave guy in the war, and here Homer thought that he was a spy, and I think they could have played with that a little bit more. Also, a little scene I I don't know how you do it, but like a little punch-up I would have done is have Homer and Abe kiss outside of the trunk and then have a German guy drive by being like, "Hey, fun boys, get a room." I thought that would have been a fun joke, much like, in The Flying Hellfish. But that being said, I think it's a perfectly acceptable episode. It just wasn't my favorite, but it doesn't mean that it's not good. I just think that I could have had more fun with it, and I didn't. But I still think it's a watch, and I think that all the performances were good. And so, we were joking about how A Bit of Fry and Laurie was a long-running show, and it was. It ran from 1987 to 1995. So, of course, there are 26 episodes of it. And so, of those 26, I'm going to give this an 18 out of 26. What are your thoughts, Craig?
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to agree with you on your summation as well. When it comes to like spy movies or television shows, I don't really have a wide knowledge of a lot of them. Like I'm very familiar with James Bond. I'm a James Bond fan, but other than that, like I never got into like the Mission Impossible movies. I've seen some of them. I didn't grow up in the 60s with, the spy shows were such the thing, like Man from U.N.C.L.E. or The Avengers. No, not the Marvel one. So I don't really have that vast of knowledge. And this movie, like you said, or this episode referencing The Third Man, which you said you've seen, I've never seen. I've never seen Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, which I think it was kind of more what this episode is based off of.
Yes.
And that being said, so I get some of the references, I'm not quite understanding, but I think some of the jokes worked for me. I thought Stephen Fry was great. I would say my MVG might be Mr. Please Chief Wiggum, because I thought him being dumb at the end was really funny. But like Stephen Fry as himself, or the Terrance and then his daughter, just well done. Favorite scene, I guess, said probably was the stuff with Homer and Abe, because it's so weird. But you're right. The directing in this episode is superb. all in all, I think this is an episode that is for people older than us or people that are really into the spy genre. A lot of references flew by me. So I guess if I were to watch a lot of the movies that they base this off of and then watch this episode again, much like I did with the Yellow Lotus episode with White Lotus, I might appreciate it more. So I didn't appreciate it as much as someone who would enjoy this genre. But I think you're right about the thing with Bart and Abe in the fighting Hellfish episode is a really well done episode because you get to see Bart teaming up with Abe. And to the lesser extent, this episode is Homer, figuring out the gray fox. And we don't learn actually who the gray fox really was. And I don't know, is this a reference to like Tinker Tailor or a spy movie where you don't know who the actual bad guy is, and it's just at the end, like the villain was our hearts.
Yes, it was the fun we had along the way.
Yeah.
I was doing some research, and they had originally talked about Jasper maybe being the gray fox, which would have been fine. But yeah, I think they could have unsolved that mystery a little bit more.
I mean, they were alluding to at the end with Lisa eavesdropping in Maggie's room, but it still would have been kind of a funny joke, even though, again, something that maybe, I don't know if it's Maggie being more than she really is. So if like Maggie was the gray, did I say the gray goose? I meant the gray
lady,
the gray wolf. What?
No. Yeah, the gray fox.
The gray fox. Yeah, I think we all know the real gray fox is Ted Danson.
Yes.
Oh no, he's a silver fox. I get them confused. Also, like, put in the mindset, too, this episode is the penultimate for season 32.
Mm-hmm.
Does this feel like the end of a season where, like, all right, let's just put out the wackiness of this episode? I don't remember how, like, season 32 is, but I feel like this does feel like towards the end of a season type of episode.
Yeah, I agree.
The only spy knowledge that I have, really, is James Bond. And if I were to rank this out of a James Bond movie, my favorite James Bond movie is... Well, I don't want to admit what my favorite James Bond movie is because it's considered a bad movie, but it's my personal favorite.
Moonraker.
No, but I've grown to like that movie a lot more. I'm fine with pigeons doing double takes. So my favorite James Bond movie is The Man with the Golden Gun, which is Roger Moore's second film. But it's got, Harvey Velichez in it and the one true man who actually knew Ian Fleming. I think he was his cousin. Saruman himself, Christopher Lee.
Ooh.
He's the bad guy, Scaramanga. It's a not that great of a movie, but it's my favorite. My least favorite is Die Another Day, the last Pierce Brosnan one, which is not a controversial thing to say. So I feel like this episode, I'm going to give this another Pierce Brosnan movie, The World Is Not Enough.
Oh.
It's got a good story, but Denise Richards kind of ruins it with her bad acting. So
Dr. Christmas Jones?
Yes. That's going to be my ranking for this episode. You know what? If you're into this stuff, if you're into spy stuff, maybe watch it for the references. But yeah, I think there could have been a lot more interesting dynamic, I think, with Homer and Abe. But this was the Fry show. The Stephen Fry show, not Futurama Steve.
Right. There's a line that Homer says on this episode that he says, it's like a movie that I'd fall asleep to. And I feel like that's a very apt description of this episode. Like, because I remember renting Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, and about 15 minutes in, I was conked out.
Yeah, I've heard about that movie.
And I'm sure it's good if you're into that sort of thing, but it just didn't strike me. And that's kind of what this episode was. But I think it's a really good effort. And I think if you're into it, it's great.
And that's, I think, all we're going to say about that for this week. Steve, let's just go on to what we're watching next week. And we are not bringing the Wheel of Random out because it's we're doing the one for you and the one for us. Because we're going back to spring cleaning, Steve. We're going to go to our third episode that we ever did, which was, of course, from season 30, episode 5, called Baby, You Can't Drive My Car, in which a self-driving car company sets up in Springfield and lures all of the power plant employees to join its fun work environment. Now, Steve, this aired November 4th, 2018.
Mm-hmm.
And we were into our very first year, or no, I think that we started in 2019, right, for the podcast?
That's true, yeah.
So this was an episode that was, season 30 was current when we were doing the podcast, but we were going back in time to a few months to review a current episode. Did this must have come up on the Wheel of Random? It did then. We weren't just shoehorning.
No, I think we just kind of randomly picked it, and I think...
Well, no, Wheel of Random did.
Yeah, I mean, right, Wheel of Random picked it, and I think it's interesting that I think we were kind of taken aback to, like, be watching such a new episode, and now that new episode is 8 years old.
Jesus. But I do have fond memories that we actually enjoyed it, and we're like, wow, new Simpsons is good.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm excited to recheck this episode out. I'll be honest with you, I don't really remember it just because my memory is shot. So it's like watching a whole new episode all over again.
And I think that's the point of us spring cleaning, because we're so knee-deep in Simpsons episodes that it's fine to go back and revisit some of the episodes we talked about originally, and hopefully we learn something new.
Yes. And we get a guest star because Tracy Morgan from the Rise and Fall of Reggie Jenkins, he's a guest star on the episode, so that's exciting.
All right, Steve. Let's go ahead and wrap things up by telling our listeners that we love them and we want to make out with them in a trunk.
Yes. We want to kiss you all on the mouth.
But the only way you can do that is if you email us at 13simpsons@gmail.com or contact us on our socials of Instagram or YouTube at 13simpsons.
And hey, if you're so kind, go to your favorite podcatching app, leave us 5 stars or the equivalent. But you don't need to write a real review. Just tell us a spy organization you think your father was secretly a part of.
And don't forget to sign up for our Patreon. It's just $5 a month, and each week you get a bonus episode of the podcast. Now, not every bonus episode is a Simpsons episode. We have different episodes every week for a month. We have our classic episodes, which of course is covering Golden Age episodes 1 through 10. We have an Eye Off Springfield, which is our other podcast that discusses other TV shows. Then we have our movie reviews, where we find something that's somewhat related to a Simpsons performer or writer, or something that's referenced in a TV show, and we review a movie. And finally, just the Annoyed Grunt Boys, where we just get annoyed with life.
Yes, we do whatever the hell we want. And hey, if you want to look cool like we are cool, go to tpublic.com/users/annoyedgruntboys and get yourself some Annoyed Grunt Boys swag.
All right. For this week, I've been Annoyed Grunt Boy Craig.
And I've been Annoyed Grunt Boy Steve.
And remember, I am the Gray Fox.
And I am as American as Apple Watches.
Say your goodbyes, quick. You know, goodbye is a contraction of the farewell phrase, God be with you, while farewell is a contraction of fare thee well. Shut up and let's go.